Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt, and on today's episode, we are talking about, of course, the ill-fated, the best, worst movie ever made, The Room. Now, for some reason, this movie has only just came on my radar since The Disaster Artist kind of started picking up on publicity this past couple month or two. Now, I've always kind of heard whispers of this movie. Like, I definitely recognized the title of it, but I didn't realize, like, what it was. I didn't think that it was a bad movie necessarily. Like, for as much as, like, I knew it was a good movie. And then I got really interested in The Disaster Artist as a movie, and I was like, I feel like I was gonna go see the movie and see if I could enjoy it without seeing The Room. But I kind of just felt like I had to experience this movie to get like everything I wanted out of The Disaster Artist, especially if this is really supposed to be the best, worst movie ever made. So I needed to see what this was. And while I was kind of searching about The Room, I discovered that this now has like a cult following of people who kind of do like Rocky Horror Picture Show-esque showings, midnight showings, where they like throw spoons in the air and they scream at the TV, or not the TV, the screen is what I was trying to say. And so the weekend before Disaster Artist came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to see The Room, see if anywhere in Portland is showing a midnight showing, and I missed it, by the way, for 2 days. By 2 days, I missed it. And guess who was at this screening? Tommy Wiseau himself came up to Portland the weekend before The Disaster Artist premiered in LA, or at least came out in wide release theater, and I missed it. And I am so mad at myself. You have no clue. Mainly because after watching The Room, I realized this is just... It really is the best, worst movie ever made, but it's just like so, to me it also like really hit on my type of humor, which is just bad humor in a way. And I know it was meant to be a drama, even though Tommy Wiseau says it's supposed to be a dark comedy. No, it's not. This movie is just like, it's so ridiculous, and there's so many like, obviously it was written by somebody who has no clue how to write. And the thing is, it's almost like, I feel like if I were to write something, it would turn out like that, even though I think I'm a better writer than that. But Tommy Wiseau obviously thought he was a great writer. And then it's just like, the fact that this movie got people to like film the entire thing, like you obviously know what you're making, like when you read the script or like do the first scene, like you know. But obviously there's not like, nobody in this film is particularly great actors. I mean, maybe under different director, different circumstances. I know that the poor girl who played Lisa, this was her first film, and she was like 22 or something like that when it came out. So I can only imagine how that affected her. Also, I looked at her IMDb, literally The Room, and then she didn't do anything for years. And then she just like resurfaced in 2012 and started acting again. I think she needed a break. But quite honestly, this is a movie that like I feel like I want to be in. Like this, I want to have the experience of working on a set like this, even if it's hell. Like before I see The Disaster Artist and know like how kind of everything happened, at least loosely based on it. I don't know how accurate it is. I do think that like I would have a blast on this set because of how bad it is. And like come on, like you just show up to work, you do it, and you just like laugh about it. Like, you know, everybody was just like, this is just terrible. Just terrible. And one thing that this movie does is it will make you ask questions. It'll make you ask questions about like, why did this story point come out? Like, why is this person making that acting choice? Like, what is going on? Who are these people? Why does this random kid want to have a threesome with somebody that he says he's in love with and is also like a father to? Also, Tommy Wiseau is not 20 when he's making this film. Like, come on. But I'm not gonna lie, I did actually really enjoy this movie, and it's made by people who love movies, so it's like, I can't really bash on it that much. Like, obviously, there were wrong choices, and just like, a mess was made, but look what it's become. Like, come on, like, this is Hollywood royalty, in my opinion, is Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero, and it's just so funny to like, see a movie like this and be like, and then realize that you've never been in a movie, and that is kind of depressing in a sense. But one thing very positively I will say about this movie is that, like, I was, like, not expecting the ending. Like, out of everything I read, nobody gave away what happens at the end of this movie. And I'm not going to do it here. And while I was joking about all of this stuff very similar to, like, how, because the entire movie you're wondering, how can this movie end? Like, this movie is, like, about almost nothing. It doesn't make any sense. So, like, how do they end it? And so I was kind of joking throughout the movie, like, this is how they're going to end it. And then when it happened and I was right, I was still, like, surprised. I was like, oh my God, they're actually doing this. This is how they're ending it, and I'm so here for it. Also, I will say, it's not the worst use of green screen that I've ever seen in a movie, which is pretty good for a movie, that costs, what, $8 million of his own money that nobody knows where it came from. Oh, and that brings up the sort of mystery of Tommy Wiseau, how old he is, where he makes his money, just everything about him, his accent, like, that is not a New Orleans accent, and he's also not from South America, like he's said in interviews at all. And I think that sort of mystery around him and him going to these midnight showings and kind of like, he kept this movie in the theater for 2 weeks to be eligible for Academy Awards, and that's just, like, so amazing that he has so much sort of faith in this project, or he cares so much about it. And I like that in a human being, somebody who wants to be there for someone. Do not jump off. So I have tremendous respect to anybody who made this film with Tommy Wiseau, and for Tommy Wiseau and for Greg Sestero for dealing with Tommy Wiseau. Also, would I recommend this movie? I'd recommend it to anybody similar to my age, a little bit older. I think that, like, this is pretty peak millennial humor. Do not jump off. My dog 100% just tried committing suicide by jumping off this way too high, probably into my lights over here. Anyway, I do think that this is a very, like, millennial sense of humor, a little bit older, maybe some Generation X in there. I would not recommend this to my parents. I wouldn't recommend this to a lot of my family, but I would recommend this to pretty much any of my friends, because it's a glorious, glorious film. Okay, everybody, I hope you guys liked this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. Have you seen The Room? Have you heard of it? What are you doing with your life if you have not heard of it at least? Just get your shit together. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos Monday through Friday. Disaster Artist coming out tomorrow. Last Jedi, I've finally been able to see, so I will be reviewing that. You'll get that on Wednesday. And also another Netflix Christmas movie came out, so we'll be getting that this week. And happy holidays to you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.